It's 5 Minute Friday. Let's head home. Put my dad glasses on. Let's go. Alright. I know I missed last week. I know I missed a couple weeks before that. Like I said, it's because I was sick. And last week, I had a killer sore throat. And it hurt to do everything. You might be able to hear it in my voice still. It's a little bit of a twinge when I swallow still, but it's nowhere near as what it was. It hurt to breathe, it hurt to swallow, hurt to talk, hurt to eat, anything. It was rough. And it was pretty much all week long, so I tried doing a 5 Minute Friday and I could not talk loud enough, and every time I swallowed was so I just thought it would be best to skip and get back at it when I felt a little bit better and didn't look like I was in pain when I was talking. So for this 5 Minute Friday, we're talking about pedal pumping. Is it good? Is it bad? See what we think. So let's get 5 minutes on the clock and get started. So, my thoughts on pedal pumping for TIG welding, obviously, is it's up to you. I don't personally like doing it. I know several very, very good welders that pedal pump everything, and I know a lot of really good welders that think pedal pumping is absolutely stupid. I think whatever works best for you, go for it. If you like that and it works good for you, I really don't see anything super wrong with it. There could be some people that say that it could induce cracking or something like that, but I don't know. I don't think it really does. It's kind of like welding with pulsar on, but you have a little bit more control over it, a lot more control over it. But I say if you're having a hard time with doing a consistent bead and you can't get that look that you're going for, give it a try, see if it works for you. Like I said, I know a lot of really, really good welders that they pedal pump, and sometimes it's not an on off type of a thing. It's kind of just like a half in half out type of a thing. My only issue that I have with it is to get consistency with it. It takes a lot of time and practice and really dialing in your ankle to be able to push that pedal down to that same exact spot, unless you're setting the machine to a max amperage and you're just flooring it every time. But I don't think that that's the best way of doing that, because again, with me, when I set my machine, I like to set it to where I'm about just a little bit past center on the foot pedal, so I've got a little bit of oomph if I need it, and it's a comfortable place for my ankle. I personally think if I was going to be doing the pedal pumping thing all the time, my ankle would be killing me. But I don't know. I mean, it's really a personal preference thing. Like I said before, I don't see anything technically wrong with doing it. You could argue that it does put less heat into the part because you are coming off of that, like you're pulsing it. I have pedal pumped spots where there's a little bit too much weld, or there's a buildup, or I'm trying to repair a spot and I don't want to add any more filler wire to it, so I'll pedal pump it just to kind of melt down those sections and try to make it look a little bit better, make it flow a little bit nicer. But I have been, when I'm welding aluminum, I've been accused of pedal pumping at certain places just because when I'm adding the filler wire, it makes the sound change ever so slightly. So it's like, and they're like, "Are you pumping your pedal?" I'm like, "No." But it, like, I'll keep going back to this with this subject. It's personal preference. I say try it, see if you like it. If you don't like it, hey, there's nothing wrong with that. If you do like it, hey, there's nothing wrong with that. You may run into scenarios where if you do pedal pump everything and you go to a company, they may look at you funny and they may think that that's wrong, and they're like, we don't want that in any of our welds. Like my current job, you're not allowed to pulse anything with TIG, and it's on the WPSs. It has the section for pulsing, and it specifically says no, can't do that. And I asked about that for a scenario of, well, what if you're a pedal pumper? Like, what if that's the way you weld? And they're like, nope, you can't do that. And they brought it back to, if you were to be audited by an auditor and they saw you doing that, they could call that pulsing, and that could be considered a fine. It would be a very picky auditor, and I don't agree with that at all. But sometimes you just got to play with their rules, and if you are solely a pedal pumper and you can't weld with a solid straight arc, you might have a hard week or two at that shop. And most places don't care. I mean, if you lay a nice weld, or if you pass an x-ray part, or if you pass all their tests and you pedal pumped it, they're like, hey, great. So hopefully that kind of shines, let me get on the interstate here. So hopefully that shines a little light on the topic and maybe makes you want to try it a little bit. Like I said, I don't see anything wrong with it at all if that's what you want to do. If you feel that you need to do that, hey, go for it. You may find it works better on some materials over other materials. You may find that you don't like it on aluminum and it works great on steel. Each to their own. So I say give it a try, see if you like it. If you don't like it, nothing wrong with that. If you do like it, nothing wrong with that either. Welding is very personal, and it can be, what works for one person will not work for another person. It may work for somebody else, it may not work for that person. So don't let anybody tell you you cannot do this does not work. It's like, well, just because you don't know how to do it right doesn't mean it's not right. So anyways, that's another topic in itself. So hopefully, like I said before, this is something you might have been thinking about trying. I say go for it, try it, nothing wrong with it. Like I said, I don't personally do it, but hey, if you've got any questions you'd like to hear answered on a 5-Minute Friday, leave them in the comments below or over on the forum, and we'll catch you next week.